Oh, yeah.
All right, so where were we?
All right.
What do I remember? That's what you're asking me?
What do you remember last time?
So I remember we were getting the shit kicked out of us.
Yes.
Last time. And we thought we were infiltrating a secret cultist hideaway. Which we were, but we almost got our shit kicked in. And what had happened is as we were coming out of the hole after they escaped, we found out that they were unleashing a plague across Chale.
Yes.
And we were just like, oh fuck, we fucked up. Because we took the guards away from the portal, which left the whole city defenseless.
There you go. And where were you? What was the last thing you remembered?
We were in the castle, and Poe had just made his grand entrance. And Yarner just gave him a fucking bro shake, and they were just sharing insults back and forth. And Yarner's like, I could kick your ass. And Armstrong's like, I'd like to see you try. Yeah. And Yarner's like, not right now.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a little tired. Not right now.
Yes. And with that being said, where we now resume is where the king's second hand. I bring that picture to help me with the accent here. And he says, all right, well, I guess it's settled then. We'll rest, and then tomorrow we'll infiltrate the cultist catacombs where they're located.
Okay.
All right. And so
Jonas says, okay. And he's now I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Yes. And so the entire group's the whole group of adventurers. You see Armstrong. You see the Jarl. The Jarl's joining you for this as well. You see Yarner and Wally sees everything, see how everything's forming together. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an A team striking within.
Okay. Yarner's kind of trying to get himself hyped up, and Wally's kind of crying he's kind of sulking a little bit because he's worried that his mom might be in trouble. Because his mom was right in the upper ring of Chale, which is where everybody got hit the hardest.
Yes.
So he's worried that his mom might be dead, or the shop might have been looted or something.
Yes.
Is Wally's mom dead?
For you to find out.
God damn it, dude. Come on, don't do this to Wally. His dad's already in the war.
Yeah. Alright. So. Alright, well, I guess that settles it. Everyone, rest up. Get yourself some nice rest. And then tomorrow, do this. And so then you're all escorted outside the room.
Okay. Yarner's walking with Edith, and Wally's still sulking, but he's like, all right, I guess,
Yes.
And he's kind of clutching his father's weapon close to him because, God forbid his mom's dead. That's, his last thing to, remember his family by.
Yes. Now, after the door closes behind you, mm-hmm. The general walks out and says, all right, so I really, we really need to, get down to this. You need your rest. You really should.
Is he saying this to the whole party?
Yeah, the whole group, because as what is being said, we have high tensions, mm-hmm. and as you know, Mr. Yarner, the king now has an impromptu schedule with the outside, outside the inner walls. Mm-hmm. So we have a really big day ahead of us. We have special rooms for everyone. You know where the medical room is? There's a second floor. That's where everyone.
It's right above the medical room.
Yes.
Okay.
And so everyone, here, I'll walk with you guys.
Okay.
And so we're being escorted. The general leads you all to your rooms, and everyone has their own sort of room. But then Edith made sure that you and her had their own room.
The same room.
Yes, exactly.
Jules actually did that.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm the only man to ever give her attention.
And so now it's up to you. What would you like to do now that you're in? What would Yarner and Wally like to do now that you're in your own room?
So he's kind of like cleaning his father's weapon.
Yes.
Because right now that's like the only thing that's kind of like a comfort thing for him. He's just a boy still because he's only like 18.
Boy.
Yeah. Well, and like, because he's never been outside Chale except for like occasional trips with his dad.
Yeah.
But he's never seen the world past Chale.
Yes.
So he's like super, like his whole world is quite literally crumbling in front of him. So like the mental toll on him, he's just like freaking out right now. Mm-hmm. And he's like keeping himself very, very reserved, like trying not to point his father's gun at his face and pull the trigger. Yarner is just gonna do his thing. He's kind of like disarming himself. He's like, yeah, it's a big day, but like he hasn't taken his armor off in a couple of days, so he's kind of like disarming himself. He lays. I'm assuming there's like a nightstand in the room, right, or something like that.
Yes.
He's kind of leaning his axe up against that, and then he just kind of jumps in the bed and just sleeps.
And just starts sleeping.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how much time do you want to pass right now? This is my question for you.
This is a trick question, isn't it?
Can be. Think of it like Skyrim, where it's like, okay. How much time do you want to rest for?
Wally's probably only going to sleep for like a few hours. Like, how much for a long rest?
8 hours.
8 hours?
Yes.
What? We'll just say fuck it. Do a long rest for both of them.
Okay. 4 hours in.
Okay.
Wally, you hear a knock. On the door.
Do I have to roll to wake up?
Yes. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save? All right, hold on. Wally, come on, dude. Wisdom save. That's a +2. It's 10, 12.
12. You are still asleep.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Is that at Wally's door?
Yes.
Okay. 13.
This time it's louder. Yeah, you hear. Wally, I have to speak with you.
Do I have to roll again?
Yeah.
Okay. 7. He sleeps deeper.
All right.
Is he gonna bust down the fucking door?
Yarner.
All right. All right. Yarner. What is it? Wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. 16.
You hear the knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you wake up.
All right.
You're waking up.
Yarner's gonna get out of bed and he's gonna go. He's like, I imagine him just like in his t-shirt and like his boxer shorts. His hair's like all disheveled and he like opens the door. And he's like, yes. What can I do for you?
You see the general in front of you, and he looks down at you and says, "Yarner, we need to talk. Do you have a moment?"
Yarner kind of like does that thing where he like closes the door behind him so Edith doesn't hear, and he says, "Yeah, what about?" No, don't say what I think you're gonna say.
I have to break some news to you.
Yarner says, "It's a time of conflict. Dispose of the pleasantries and get out with it."
Yes.
You and I have known each other a while. Just
despite as what's being said, and after reviewing this recent turn of events with the king and a second hand, it has come to my unfortunate decision that you will not be joining with the assault of the catacombs.
Yarner kind of like, he's very confused, and he looks up at the general and says, What made you come to that decision?"
And he says, "Instead, I have a different job for you and Wally. We need somebody from the town, from the city of Chale, and somebody who has the support of the lower, not the lower, the outside.
The lower class.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the generals for it. The
lower ring.
Yeah, the lower ring. The lower ring. And you and Wally are going to help be representatives for the king's speech tomorrow. And also bodyguards as well.
Yarner wants to be pissed, but he can't because this is like leagues important. Like, this is just as important as clearing out the catacombs. So Yarner's going to be like, so instead of leading me in the assault on the catacombs, no offense, Malaya is very strong, as is Armstrong, but let's not beat around the bush. Leading the assault, you're putting me on guard duty.
It's a very important decision and very important job as well that need to come to pass. Because with this, we need to get the trust of the people out there. And without it, I bet you for sure the lower ring would be not too happy with a king even showing up without some sort of representation.
Yarner says, why do I feel like you're throwing my words back in my face?
This needs to come to pass.
Yarner kind of sighs and looks at the general and says, well, is there any update on the kid's mom?
That I do not know. I have no idea what is going on out there. All I know is that the gods are telling me that they're treating the sick. There's nothing, no updates with the mom. I haven't heard anything from her since.
Yarner looks at the door and says, or looks at the general and says, well, did you tell the kid yet?
I tried to. He was sleeping.
Yarner's going to say, where's his room?
He kind of like points in the right direction.
Yarner's going to walk over there and he's going to fucking just kick the door.
All right.
Do you want me to roll strength?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go right for it.
Oh my god, if Yarner does this, he'll be fucking legendary, dude.
Yeah.
Alright, so strength 3. 20, not net.
20. Well, you're able to kick it. You don't kick it open.
Yeah.
You kind of like busted it down a bit.
Is it enough to wake up Wally, though?
Roll wisdom saving throw.
Oh god. Wisdom +2. Come on, Wally, wake up, dude. 12.
You wake up from it.
Nice. Wally's like, ah!
Yeah.
He's gonna grab the gun and he's gonna accidentally misfire.
All right, where are you aiming it?
He's kind of aiming it right in front of him.
Right in front of him?
At like all the furniture and stuff that's probably sitting right in front of him.
All right, so you hear a blast.
You're just gonna be like, what the fuck? He's like, Wally, are you okay?
The general kind of says, I think he's a bit startled. I'd recommend turning the door and opening it.
So you're just gonna open the door and just see Wally just completely disheveled with his father's gun like in his hand, like right next to him on the bed. And Wally's gonna be like, I thought you were,
Calm down, son. We need to talk about the recent things that have been happening here. And Mr. Yarner already knows about this, but has come to a very important decision that you will not be joining us for the raid on the catacombs tomorrow.
Wally kind of breathes a sigh of relief because he's like, he's like, not that I wasn't excited to go. I just, I really didn't want to go.
That is very fair, son. Yes, you are way too young. But instead, you have a more important job, in my opinion, and that is the protection of the king. As you know, the king will be making his way to the lower ring of the capital. And with that, he needs help. He needs special help.
What can I do that anybody else here can't do.
You are the son of our most proud inventor here that is helping out our war. Representation of both the upper and lower ring. But more so, the representation of the lower ring is done by Mr. Yarner right here. And with your representation, and with your sincerity, we can help appease the minds of the citizens up there.
Wally wants to do it, and he says, "Yeah, no, that can be done." But he doesn't want to do it for the reason that the general thinks. And Wally's gonna say, "But would we be traveling by the upper ring to get there?
We'd be traveling by horse and carriage for protection.
Would we possibly be going down past my father's shop?"
And he says, unfortunately, we have the fastest route. Will not be passing by the shop.
Wally kind of looks disappointed, and then he's like, "Well, we could probably go by after, right? Probably."
After what is said and done, you and Mr. Yarner can do whatever you want. If you want to join the raid on the catacombs, you may, as reinforcements, special reinforcements, cavalry, as I would like to put it. But for this, this comes first.
Yarner is gonna look at Wally, and he's gonna be like, "We focus on what we have to do first, and then we'll talk about it." And then Wally kind of like he kind of gets like hopeful, because he just wants to see if his mom's still alive, so he kind of gets hopeful, and he nods at the general and says, "All right, well, praise Ocastia."
Yes, praise Ocastia. I'm just a bit stressed out. I bid you two a good night, and good luck for tomorrow. And he kind of like turns his body and kind of like waves. Take care. Kind of retires for the night and starts walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
All right, now what do you want to do?
So Yarner's gonna look at Wally and he said, "All right, kid, listen. You can't keep your finger on the trigger like that. You put your finger. I'm assuming I don't have to tell you how to use that thing." And Wally's like, "Well,
for reference, Yarner, the only thing that you know that really holds like something like this is
Yeah.
like a crossbow, and this shoots lightning out of it.
Yeah."
So you don't know what you're looking at here.
So he's like, the way I see it is that Yarner's one of those people where like even if he doesn't know what it is, he kind of acts like he knows what it is. He's trying to be like,
roll me charisma.
"Oh, charisma? Oh, fuck! You're actually having."
Yeah.
All right, plus two.
Why not?
Come on, Yarner.
This is
14.
14.
Yeah.
All right, now roll me a charisma saving throw for Wally.
For Wally, oh god, 0. 4.
All right, Wally's completely convinced.
I was like, "Oh, yes, sir. I just, you scared me." And Yarner's just like, "Son, I get it." He's like, "Listen, you with me? You follow my lead. You understand?" And Wally's like, "Yes, sir." And Yarner's like, as long as you keep a cool head, nothing bad's gonna happen. We're just gonna go there, smile, wave, maybe, a couple people get a little antsy, but that's about it." And Wally's like, all right. And Yarner's going to say, "Don't forget, you're representing your home." And Wally kind of nods, and Yarner kind of gives him another nod and says, "Well, if you need anything, Edith and I are right down here." And Wally kind of nods, and Yarner closes the door and goes back to his room.
All right. And when you close the door, Edith says, "Oh, yeah, what was that?"
Yarner gets in bed and says, "I've been assigned guard duty, apparently."
"Oh, that's lovely." And then she smooches her man.
God damn it. Yarner's gonna go back to sleep. Is it bad? I kind of wish Wally's mom is dead.
You wish? I mean...
Yeah, because it's going to suck, but I have this, idea that Wally, or that Yarner and Edith will become, the surrogate parents of Wally.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. How about that?
Edith becomes, Wally's surrogate mother. Right.
All right.
So, yeah, Yarner's going to go to sleep, and Wally's going to go to sleep.
All right. Time passes.
Yep.
Usually I would say you're exhausted, but no, you're not.
Okay.
You're good. You're fully awake. Everything's restored.
Was that a full rest? Yet?
That would be considered a full rest. Okay. And you see, everyone starts waking. Oh, that's a lot of Snapchats.
Yeah, dude. Dude. I got one from Jake too. Yeah. Nice. I sent him a picture of Turban Devilman.
Nice. All right, now roll me intelligence rolls
for each.
Yeah.
Saving throws or just intelligence?
Just intelligence. Right,
so Yarner. Yarner rolls a 4.
A 4. Yarner's having a wicked nightmare right now.
Wally rolls a 9.
They're both having. Wally's is a bit. It's more weird, but Yarner's having a night.
Wally's kind of having a fever dream. Yarner's like imagining everybody dying because he's not on the catacomb raid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. He's like, dear Lord, I leave the party for 2 seconds and everybody... Which is what happened.
Yep. And so you and Wally wake up fully rested, but like in kind of shock.
Yarner wakes up in like a fucking cold sweat.
This is like, oh, Yarner, what's going on?
Yarner's like, I gotta talk to the general. And Yarner kind of jumps up, gets his gear on, grabs his axe, and goes to find the general.
Gotcha. You open the door, and you see the Jarl is like up outside. Yep. You kind of see him just like hanging by like his door with like a bit of a sharpener, kind of like sharpening one of his swords.
So like a Skyrim Jarl, just kind of just sitting there doing his thing.
It's like up against the wall, kind of like doing. Yeah. Yeah. It says, "Oh, Yarner, you're awake. How are you doing?"
Yarner's like, yeah, fine. Have you seen the general?
Oh yeah. I was he went to my door first just to make sure that everyone was up and ready to go. But just kind of giving people some time. Why? What is it?
Nothing. I just he gave me a special assignment.
Special assignment? He didn't really tell me anything about it. What was it?
Well, I don't know how many people know this, so keep this on the secrecy side. But I have been assigned, along with Wally, to escort the king into the lower ring.
Oh, that's quite an honor to be part of the king's personal guard. I mean, one could only dream of that, at least for my knowledge's sake, in the Chale army. But yeah, congrats there. So, will you be joining us in that case?
Yarner says, well, that's what I want to talk to the general about. He says I can join you guys when we're done, but I don't... And he kind of pauses to collect himself, and he says, I think you guys need me for this assault.
There's Misty. All right. Well, the general's currently contemplating himself. He's currently in the east wing of the... Where is it? So north is up here, south is down. North, south, east, west. It's this way. West is... Oh, and
east for you is that way. It's right. My
gotcha.
Right, you're right.
I know my rights and lefts. I don't know my east and west.
Yeah.
I always mix them up at times.
Yeah.
Despite me saying west all the time.
West.
He's in the east wing. You'll find him on the second floor. He's currently in one of the planning rooms that we have. You'll find him on one of the right doors.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he says, thank you. And if you have a second, can you just give Wally a knock on his door?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And Yarner kind of runs to find the general.
All right, well, while you're running, you hear a... Wake up! Wally!
All right, hold on.
Wally!
10.
And then opens the door and says, Yo! Get your ass up here, soldier!
Do I even have to roll at this point?
Roll.
Okay.
10. A 10?
Yeah.
He goes up to him and literally starts shaking him. Roll again. Wake up!
6.
Yeah, you wake up. I
was like, no!
Mr. Yara needs you.
Sorry, yes, sir. Just please stop shaking me.
All right, go see him.
Wally falls back down, and he's like, I should have never left home. Wally gets up and
you hear this, by the way. at least the knocking and
the Jarl's an orc, right?
a half orc, yes.
Okay, so it's very loud.
Oh, you say... Oh, that's racist. You say that half orcs out loud. Yeah.
They're always loud. They're never quiet.
How dare you?
Imagine actually living next to an orc.
How dare you?
Wait. Does Wally know Orcish? Yeah. All right. So Wally's gonna he's gonna, as the Jarl leaves, he's gonna yell like an Orcish good morning to the Jarl.
And he says, yeah, whatever.
And while he gets dressed, he grabs his father's weapon, and he makes his way out of his room, and he goes up to the Jarl and says, where can I find Mr. Yarner?
He kind of just points, and you see Yarner kind of like going down the hallway.
Wally turns to leave and turns to the general and says, "Can I ask you something?"
Yeah, what is it?
He says, "Well, do you know how bad the rest of the city is?"
That I don't know. Ever since I got here, I've just been kind of contemplating myself having a wondrous time. You know, just we're in the castle after all. I mean, probably one of the safest places in Ocastia.
Yeah.
But yeah. As far as I know, after I saw what was going down, I haven't left the castle since. Kind of been in the front of the yard, but other than that, nowhere else.
So, and then Wally's going to ask, so you guys know where these cultists are, and you're going to wipe them out, right?
We're going to.
And then...
And you're joining us.
Well, after our task, of course.
You're part of the task as well.
Well, yeah. The general said they needed someone from the upper ring, someone who knows the town to kind of show good relations.
Yeah. He's like, okay, all right. Never thought about it that way. All right. Well, in that case, cool.
Wally then goes to turn to leave and looks at the Jarl again and says, Can I ask you a favor?
What's your favor?
And just so nobody else understands them, he starts speaking Orcish and he says...
Do you say and grumble?
I say and grumble. He says, when you find them, I want you to gut every single one of them and do not let any get away.
And he says in reply, griggle, graggle, graggle. He says, oh, trust me.
Wally's trying to be a tough guy here. He's like trying to be like tough, being like, do it, please. Don't fucking let them get away.
After what happened, Rathrid, none of them will be getting out alive. and he like slams one of his swords that he's sharpening right into the ground. And hold up.
Is he intimidating?
No, he is.
Okay.
And it pierces the ground.
Oh, fuck.
It leaves like a crack. And he says, I don't think that would work. Let me sharpen this.
So
he's both like wide-eyed.
So Wally's gonna nod.
Well, before you do that,
Yeah.
another door opens and you see Spornate kind of like walk out. You're kind of like, wow. It's like, what was that? Going on?
Wally's like, good morning, Spornate.
Hello.
He says, are you ready for the big day?
He doesn't really respond.
Wally says, Spornate, give me some spores.
He doesn't even reach. He just does the hand motion.
He's like, Wally's like, all right, well, good night, Spornate, or good morrow, Spornate.
Doesn't say anything. He
Oh, okay.
turns around and goes to sleep.
Goes back to sleep.
It's misty. I don't know what misty.
So Wally's then he's gonna try to do an orcish salute to the Jarl.
He's like, what are you trying to do?
And he's gonna try to do like an orcish, what he thinks an orcish salute is, because he's trying to be friends with the Jarl.
He's just like, he looks at you and just like,
and there's like, or Wally's like, all right, and he turns around to go find Yarner.
yeah,
Just sheer embarrassment. The Jarl's like, are you gonna be racist?
you catch up with Yarner, and the both of you are together.
Yeah, and Wally kind of like greets Yarner, and Yarner's like, yeah, kids, just keep up, all right? And Wally's like, yes, sir, and they keep going to find the general.
Mm. So you pass. You're now in the East Wing now. Yep. You see that the East Wing is a bit more. Like all the areas are like formal looking, but this one has like a bit of a distinct touch to it. Mm-hmm. You see that more the area is more dressed in like a fur felt, okay, and more felt than any other. And you see both doors on the left and doors on the right. All right. Now what do you want to do? You're told that it was a door on the right, but there's multiple doors going across.
Yarner's gonna start with the first door he sees and start knocking on it.
All right. You hear no response.
Yarner's gonna knock again.
No response.
All right. Yarner's gonna move on to the next door.
All right.
He's gonna knock on the door.
No response.
Yarner's gonna move on to the next door.
All right.
He's gonna knock.
No response.
All right. Yarner's gonna move on to the next door, and he's gonna knock.
No response.
Yarner's gonna move on to the next door and knock.
No response.
Is there any indicators that would suggest that a door is? How many doors are there?
There's 9.
You're just gonna go on to the next door and knock.
No response.
You're just gonna go on the next door and knock.
No response.
You're just gonna go on the next door and knock.
No response.
You're just gonna go on the next door and knock.
No response.
You're just gonna go on the next door and knock.
How many are we at right now?
I don't know.
All right, I'll make a number. All right, no response.
Okay, you're just gonna go into the next door and knock.
No response.
You're just like, this is retarded. This is ridiculous. And he's gonna be like, General, I need to speak with you.
You hear I go. Oh.
Can you tell where that's coming from?
It's coming from behind.
Is it to the left?
Yeah, you passed by the door.
No! You're just gonna turn around and knock on that door.
Alright, well, you hear it was like a bit distant down the area.
Alright, so you're just gonna go down and you're like, General, where are you?
It sounds a bit more closer this time.
Alright, you're just gonna walk the 2 doors down and say, am I getting warmer?
Yarner! Open the door!
Yarner opens the door.
Yarner, how you doing? Please come in.
Yarner and Wally both walk in, and Wally says, Sir, hi. You know, marking these doors might be very helpful.
You bring up a good point. Yes, we usually all know, but yeah, I'll make sure to bring that up to the king.
So
what is it?
Yarner is gonna look at Wally and say, Kid, can you wait outside for a minute? And Wally's like, oh yeah, sure. And he kind of walks outside. And Yarner looks at the general and says, General, I think it's a bad idea to keep me off of this.
Why do you say that?
I just got a gut feeling. I just never have I ever not been there with my team. And the times that I'm not there, catastrophic things happen.
I see. And he kind of says, well, at least what I was told is that last time the raid on the catacombs happened, not so pleasant stuff happened, at least in the early stages of it. And at least that's another indicator as well. And so at least to boost the confidence and morale of the team that is being sent there, I'd see to it that it would be better, at least more for confidence sake.
General, are you trying to tell me I don't know how to run my team?
At least what I was told last time, it was quite the opposite, where almost 2 people died.
Yarna said that was a different scenario. I have made mistakes, yes, but that was a different scenario. We didn't know what we were walking into. The guards at the gate wouldn't let us into the upper ring until we went in those catacombs. We had no prep time. We had no idea what we were getting into.
Gotcha. Not from my sake, but from anonymous sources.
How anonymous?
Anonymous.
Yarna says, General.
I can't disclose names.
Are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
No.
Yarner knows. He smells Armstrong all over this. He smells that Armstrong ratted him out. And Yarner says, General, with all due respect, my team needs my help. And I can't not be there for them. I can't lead them here. And I've led them many other times. You have been a part of some of those times.
Yes, I have full confidence in that. You do know how to run your team.
So what's the issue here?
It's confidence sake. But, however, if you really do feel the need to, you may join your friends. But you'll be leaving the king at stake.
Yarna kind of checks the door and looks back at the king and says, or the general and says, General, as much respect as I have for you and for the king, honestly, the care of my team is the only thing that matters to me.
Kind of like looks down and says,
because honestly, for Yarner's character, player to DM, Yarner's character's sake, he doesn't give a shit about any of this. He's only doing it because this is where his friends live.
Yeah.
And because his friends are in support of it. He honestly does not care. Right. Yes, he is. What is his alignment? His alignment is a folk hero. He's lawful good. Yeah, but this isn't his land. This isn't he's foreign to this land.
Gotcha. He says, all right. Okay. It's going to be tough. Because we need a representative. But if you really do see to it, then we'll make it work.
Yarner kind of gets excited, but then looks at the door and tells the general and says, well, who'd be going with the kid? Who's going to protect the kid?
And he says, who do you think?
Yarner kind of looks down and says, nobody.
That's your answer.
Now Yarner feels like an asshole because he just did all this to get what he wants. And Yarner says, would my team be protected if I wasn't there?
And he says, your team is some of the best mercenaries and help I've seen in all my years of being a general. And the fact that we have the Jarl helping as well of Wathrin that protected the town many times over and many times I wish to come. Now it's deceased. I'm sure they'll be fine. That is why I made the decision to add you to this important task. Now, when I said that Wally has known to protect, I have full confidence that Wally is the best man there is for the sake of his father's invention, of course. As although the guard of the king is well prepared, I think that Wally is a cut above the rest just because of his father's invention. Now, again, the choice is yours if you want to join. Join your team or join Wally and the king. I see no other way. I just know, in my experience, that it might be better to join Wally.
Yarner he feels like just a giant asshole, and he looks at the general and says, "For the record, this is for the kid. I'm doing this for the kid." And say, let me know let me know what other prep we need before the king moves out.
Okay.
And he gives him a nod and leaves the planning room.
All right.
And Wally's like, "What were you talking about, Mr. Yarner?" And Yarner says, "Nothing, kid. Let's get back to the others." And they kind of make their way back to where the Jarl was sharpening his weapon.
All right. And you see that everyone's awake, including Ryan.
Including Ryan.
Ryan's just...
He's doing his thing. Is Ryan still here? I feel like Ryan...
He stopped playing like 10, 15 sessions ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's been up to. I don't know when was the last time he played. That's the thing.
I think he was...
I could easily say he's back in another town. No. We
dropped him off.
He's in Chale, I think.
He played a session, first session with Wally. He played that session. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes. There's what the RP set. I know he's definitely in that because he's like, "Oh, I'm sleepy," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can make him." He's like, "No."
He's like, "I'm a little sleepy."
Yeah, well, it isn't his. It technically, kind of is, but like it's his choice. Like it's always his choice if he wants.
The choice is yours.
Yeah, granted, it has I know it's a lot to ask for from 9 to 12, so so it's There's nothing really against him in that regard. Yeah. So to play this is all a choice. Mm-hmm. To do this right now is all a choice as well. But yes.
All right.
With that being said, what do you want to say? What you want to do? You're now in front. You see Spornite. He's like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? Hi there."
Wally's just gonna give him like a pat on the helmet and just like pat him like a dog and just like pat.
When you pat the head, it has like a more like a squishy kind of like like a boing boing boing.
Wally's like, "Is Spornite? Is this your head?"
"No, that's my hat."
Or Wally is like, may I? And he like has his hands on either side of his helmet.
He kind of like reaches up and tries to like
grab
it. And when you pick him up, he's like, you're just picking him up.
He's like stuck to the hat.
Can you roll me a strength?
Oh god, Wally's so weak. Oh god. 12.
You're able to pick him up.
Okay.
You're able to pick up Spornite.
Wally's like, "Whoa.
Hi. Hello.
Spornite, whoa.
Hi."
He says, "All right, hey, I guess I'll put him down now."
Okay.
So Wally puts him down. How tall is Spornite? He's only like, what, 2 feet tall?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, how tall is Wally? Wally is, I think he's like 5'4". Okay. So Spornite is like probably up to like his knees.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yarner's gonna go over to Edith and do the Edith Yarner thing.
Yeah. How are you doing, my man?
And then Yarner's gonna I'm assuming the Jarl has like a whetstone or something that he's using to sharpen his. Alright. So Yarner's gonna go up to the Jarl and say, Jarl, Your Highness.
I'm not Your Highness, don't worry. I'm not a Jarl anymore because I lost my town. And he kind of like just gives him a 1,000-mile stare. You see his eyes widen.
Listen, sir, with all due respect, once a Jarl, always a Jarl.
And he says, "Nah, thank you.
Thank you." And he says, "Would you mind if I borrowed your sharpening stone?"
And you see Poe with his arms crossed, and he's like, "You use that?
What's wrong with this?
What are you using it for?"
And Yarner pulls out Gourdbreaker and kind of like taps it on the floor.
Oh, I see. Have fun.
Yarner says, "Well, what's wrong with it?"
"Nothing."
He's trying to big dick Yarner, but Yarner's like doesn't want to big dick back because that's gonna make him look like an asshole. Yarna looks at Poe and says, "Well, what do you use?"
It's kind of like... and just crosses his arms again.
Yarna says, "You know, you can actually shave with this."
Well, he doesn't have any hair on him. He's like, to bring up a good point. But why need a big blade to cut such small hairs?
And Yarna shrugs and says, "Big blade for a big face."
Would sound like it.
So, Yarna's going to look back at the Jarl and say, "Jarl, do you have a sharpening stone I could use?"
Oh, yeah, of course.
So,
You want it? And he kind of
like, "Yes, please."
He kind of like just tosses it right to you.
All right, Yarna grabs it and he's going to start sharpening a gourd breaker.
All right. Yeah, he starts sharpening it.
And while he's doing that, Wally's gonna go up to Ryan and say, "Oh, I don't think I've really seen you around. Hi, I don't know if you know me. My name is
He has a hood on right now, by the way. Just referencing. You can't really see it that much.
It's like, my name is Wally. Nice to meet you."
He's like, yeah. Have you heard of a little thing called small interest loans?
Well, I was like, I think I learned about that when I was at the university, my first year. But
give me an intelligence.
what's his intelligence? I think it's +2.
It's a big one.
No, it's +3. Oh, fuck. 15.
15.
Yeah.
You've taken classes.
I've taken economics 101.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
So you kind of know at least with a person of his kind of area that it could be something's a bit fishy.
Well, he's gonna start spitting out like jargon about like small interest loans that Ryan doesn't even know about.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, all right. So do you want some?
No, I don't think you have enough money to supply.
No, I got money.
Here's the thing.
give me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma's +0. 10.
10?
Yeah.
All right, you're convinced that he has money.
No!
Don't worry, I got money.
Well, I was gonna say, you have money? Yeah, you see, my mother always taught me not to take money from men in hoods and men who don't work for the bank or for a corporation or a business.
Oh, trust me, I'm your friend.
See, here's the thing. I, just met you.
Roll me charisma. Roll me a charisma.
12.
All right, you are convinced that he's not your friend.
Well, he's like, I just met you. I don't think we're at that level yet, But why are you wearing a hood inside?
Oh, no reason. I just like it. Give me if you want to view him under the hood, you're gonna have to give me a perception check.
Perception. What's my perception? I am not it's +2.
All right, gotcha.
12.
You're able to see under there, and you can see like at least up to here.
Yeah.
You don't see his eyes yet, but you can see it's all different levels of skin, like you can see
Deadpool,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, exactly. That's
Is Wally? Can I roll charisma to see if Wally is freaked out by this or not?
Sure.
Okay.
Go right for it.
12.
You hold your composure. It's just it looks weird. It looks weird.
So Wally's gonna look up at Ryan and say, "What? If you don't mind me asking, what happened?"
And he says, "Well, you see," and he kind of turns to Demaya that's kind of standing on the hallway. Somebody had a little accident with their stomach, and Demaya is just like, "What's that? Oh, it's not your fault. You're trying to steal it from me." Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I don't really appreciate that. So, yeah.
Fucking Demaya.
And Ryan says in reply, "Her vomit tried to kill me." Yes.
Wally says, her vomit?
Yes, that's why you should trust me more than her.
I mean, I barely know both of you, so I guess I trust you guys equally. The only person here that I really trust is Miss Edith, Mr. Yarner, and Spore Knight.
And it says, between you and me, Edith is a bitch.
Does Edith hear this?
I can't say so for sure. So no, she doesn't. Wait, actually, hold up. She does.
Oh yes.
And she kind of she took a glance over, and then she kind of turns her head.
Well, he's like, Mr. Ryan, maybe you shouldn't be saying stuff like that so loud.
Well, and he's like, well, she is.
And Wally's gonna be like, well, good luck today with the raid, the assault. Yeah. And
Aren't you joining?
I'll catch up with you later. I got some other things I gotta do. I gotta run into town real quick.
Okay.
I'll catch up with you later.
See.
And
get back to me when you want some small interest more.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let.
The cell phones haven't been.
The phones haven't been. He's like, just call me on my speaking stone.
Yeah, exactly.
And Wally's like, yeah, I'll let you know. I'll think about it. And he'll think about it.
He'll think about it.
And Wally's gonna go over to Miss Edith and be like, Miss Edith, I
Yes?
apologize. We were just talking about people, and I didn't realize he didn't like you as much, and I didn't. And he's like, just kind of like stuttering over his words because he's like,
yeah, it's because I tripped him. He got what he fucking deserved.
Wally's like, well, why would you do that?
He's being mean to me, and I don't take shit from people being mean to me.
Wally says, well, I guess that's fair enough. Yeah. So, I don't. Has Yarner talked to you
about what? We talk a lot. We talk a lot about other things.
Wally says, well, yes, you two are married, right?
Yes, we are. And she gives a little giggle.
I says, well, we're gonna be a little bit late to the assault today.
And her eyes kind of widen a bit. Oh, you. Oh, have fun.
Well, I was like, wait, Yarna told you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Can I talk to you in private for a second?
Of course.
Your husband scares the shit out of me.
Oh, Yarn.
Such a short little man scares him.
And she says, yeah, he's my man.
Well, I was like, well, is there anything I can say to him or talk to him about that'll, that won't piss him off or make him upset?
I don't know. Just and she kind of just be yourself. That's what I did, and now I'm married.
I was like, is that really what happened?
Yeah. He tried something from me, and then the rest is history.
What's simping?
You should ask him about that. I really don't know.
Well, I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll catch up to you later.
All right. Take care.
So Wally, I'm trying to get more RP experience with Wally. That's why I'm making my rounds with people. Does Wally see Ezekiel?
Yes, you see Ezekiel. Excellent.
Wally's gonna go to Ezekiel and be like, "Oh, Ezekiel, right?"
You should really do this when there's other players instead of one.
I know.
RP every single person.
You know what? No, he won't talk to Ezekiel.
I could do Ezekiel.
He's gonna wave over to Ezekiel.
People in the recording, you can do better than what I can. All right.
I'm gonna share this to the group.
You may.
Yeah, you guys need to do better because I'm sick and tired of being the only one that RPs.
If you really want to talk to, I can still do Ezekiel. I think we're just cutting everyone's response. I feel like I'm not doing everyone's justice.
No, it's fine.
The only justice I could do is through Armstrong, the Jarl, and everybody else, including Sporn.
Wally's gonna look at Ezekiel as he walks by. He's gonna whisper per pocket. And his javelin's gonna go off.
and he's like, he looks at you with anger in his eyes because he just took damage from that.
Yes.
It was on him.
Is he gonna say anything to? Is he gonna say anything to Wally?
He's gonna whisper in Thieves' Kit to Ryan, saying, "He's going boom way."
Wally's...
and Ryan says, "Hey, you know what? 2 sons on the playing field." I do a little kissing thing there.
Wally's gonna look at Ezekiel and he's gonna speak in Orcish and he's gonna say
He flips you the bird.
Oh.
Just when you start to speak, he's just like.
Oh, okay. Wally's gonna say, "See you later, Mr. Ezekiel," in Orcish.
Fuck you.
All right. So Wally's gonna walk over to Yarner. And Yarner's gonna finish sharpening his axe, and
he's currently in front of the Jarl, and he's like trying to strip it.
He's like,
you haven't really described if he goes anywhere. He's like, "Oh yeah, here you go," and he's like, "Shing, shing."
No, why? Yeah, Yarner's just sitting there, just with the boys. He's just like,
and Poe's just kind of like looking down on him, just like.
Wally's gonna make, hi there. I don't believe we've met, and he's gonna hold a hand out. He's gonna, my name is Wally, sir.
Who are you saying this to?
Poe.
Oh, yeah. It says, "Wally, nice to meet you." And it kind of like gives you a really firm handshake.
Wally's like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah.
Roll me a strength.
God. I probably have a 0 to that, right? Strength. Yeah, 0. Oh, Wally's a weak boy. He's a twig. 18. Wow.
You hold composure. You really hold composure.
He's got like his eyes are like starting to tear up because it hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt at all. You hold composure really well, and you're able to hold your own with a handshake. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yeah, that's correct." Wow, how'd you get here? And he says.
Molly shrugged and he's like, "Well, my parents, they own my father rather. He's the only artificer in the city."
What's an artificer?
We're kind of like magic blacksmiths.
Magic black. Oh, well, that's perfect. That already settles it, and it kind of like looks around. Yeah, we need more magic casters here. I mean, honestly, the only one that I knew died off, from what I was being told.
Oh, who was that?
Somebody by the name of Woolcock's Tardum. And it kind of like looks down. I wonder what happened to them, Yarner.
Yarner kind of stops for a minute and then starts swiping at his axe again, sharpening it. He's like, well, same thing that's going to happen to us one day, my friend.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then...
Yarner's still like so pissed that Wilcox died. He's so pissed.
And from what I'm being told here from my good friend, is that the only other person is of a freaking druid, a leaf lover, as it is.
Leaf. Wow. Leaf lover. Wow. Okay.
And yes, and it kind of like points over to the. It's Demaya over there.
Demaya. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Demaya was a tiefling.
Yeah. Still is a leaf lover for being a druid. They're half leaf lovers, if you get my drift.
Well, it's like, isn't leaf lover kind of like a slur?
It can be if you want to. That's what they all taught me.
Oh, okay. And he's like,
you seem kind of chuckling.
This is like the scenario I imagine is like a father's teenage son meeting all of his like friends that are like super low key racist and kind of borderline alcoholics and just like super buff.
So my dad knew somebody that like, and what's interesting about this is that like I believe it's one of my father's friends.
Okay.
Knew all the WWE wrestlers.
Oh no!
And they would hang out at like each other's places.
Yeah.
And it's like funny because they're not racist or anything. It's just
super buff men.
Yeah. It's like what you're telling me right now. It's
yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair would just hang out with each other.
Yeah.
But like outside of the drama of WWE, they're like all buds.
Yeah.
It's like a locker.
Well, it's all for show.
Yeah,
it's all for show.
Exactly. And so that's essentially what's happening right now. It's especially with Poe and like the Jarl just like standing there, just like. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wally's like shitting bricks. He's like, he's like, if I make a wrong move, I'm dead.
With like two JoJo characters. Just like with their stance or whatever.
They're just like doing the JoJo poses, like.
Or whatever, yeah.
So is Poe shirtless? Is he shirtless?
No, he's got a shirt on.
Okay. He's not at that point yet where he's shirtless, okay.
Kind of better you to assume of him being shirtless at the beginning.
Well, because that's what he eventually gets shirtless.
At least in the game, he's never gotten shirtless.
Yeah. So Wally,
you see him with chainmail on. He's got chainmail on.
I just imagine that he's not wearing clothes. His only clothes is chainmail.
Yeah, that's you.
Wally's like, sir, what's your weapon? I can't tell that you're not carrying anything.
And he says, believe me, I have weapons.
Oh, like an axe or a sword or...
Yeah, we can play it that way.
Oh,
I shoot you a smirk.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. He's like, I just got my father's weapon, and he pulls out his father's gun. And
you see Poe's eyes just light up. Now, what is that?
And I was like, Wally's like, this is my father's, is it, oh God, what was it? Was it force or lightning? Was it force? I think it was force, wasn't it?
Officially, it's force. I'll make it lightning here.
Okay.
Yes.
Wally's like, this is my father's lightning gun. He calls it he calls it the proton pack. Pack. Yeah, it's something about like elements and
you see like he has like a smile growing on his face, like, my boy, this is amazing.
Yeah, well, I only know how to maintain it. I don't know how to make one yet. You know, he hasn't taught me that much yet.
Gotcha, but still, this is a revolutionary. Do you mind? And he's like, do you mind if you give us a demonstration here, son?
And he kind of looks around and he's like, probably not inside, but you can go outside if you want and take a look.
Oh yeah, of course.
And like is the whole team following them, or is it just...
No. Okay. No. And the Jarl is like, all right, now don't wander off too far. Yeah. Hey, fuck you.
No, fuck you.
Hey, it's like, touche.
So Wally and Poe are gonna go outside, and Wally's like, all right, well, and he like flips like a switch or two on it. I like to imagine like all the switches and buttons on it are just decorative. They're not necessary to make it function. They just look cooler.
So I was like, Wally added.
Yeah, something that Wally added. His father's like, that's retarded. You shouldn't do that. And I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, well, you just kind of weld like a little switch.
Yeah. Is he doing it like? Does he have a backpack attached to it, or is it just the gun itself?
What do you think?
I don't want him to have a backpack, but I think that would be super, super cool.
All right. Well, it's up to you.
Okay. All right, I think I'll have a backpack.
All right.
Have a backpack. And Wally's going to be like, well, if you look at this back here, and he points to the backpack on his back, he says, this generates electricity.
Yes.
And then it goes down this tube, and it fires from this.
And you just see, like, Poe's just completely enthralled by it. Like he's really, like,
into it.
All right. I want a demonstration.
Wally's going to... He's gonna get down on his knees. He's gonna on his one knee. He's gonna point up at the sky and he's gonna fire, just up into the sky.
All right, and lightning beam shot up, and Poe is just like, son, you really have knocked it out there. I have not seen this much power before. From a single weapon. Because as I've seen from that is cannons. But you're telling me you're able... And he kind of like pats Wally around the back.
It's like, that.
My boy, this is a revolutionary of war.
Well, I was like, well, yeah, that was the Yeah, my father was hoping this could defeat the elves in the war.
No wonder why you're apart with us. This is amazing.
I was like, I just, well, we're still in the trial phases. It's not done yet, but we're
still with power like this, you could really convince people. You could win wars. You could do anything.
Win the war?
The war, yes. And he kind of like looks down and says, "You know what's been going on, don't you?"
You're talking about the War of the Elves, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, yeah, my father's actually out there on the front lines right now.
Oh, God bless your father. God bless Acastia. God bless your father for that.
He's one of the few. Few artificers in all of Ocastia.
Now that what you're telling me is true. He's helping with that kind of weaponry. Oh man, you're gonna go places, Kev. Believe me. Believe me.
Well, I was like super bashful. He's like, oh well, thank you. I want to be just like my father when I get older. So.
Good for you. Good for you. And you see him smile.
Well, yo. Well, he's like, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for your. I'm glad you like it. It's been very helpful so far.
All right, now let's get back in there, because we're gonna be assaulting. Ooh, yes, the cat. And you see him crack his knuckles in those catacombs.
As they're walking back, Wally's like, well, unfortunately, Mr. Yarn and I are going to be a little late to the party.
What are you doing with that midget?
Well, Mr. Yarn and I were assigned to another task.
He's like, he kind of rolls his eyes, just like, my boy, with power like that, why? Why pertain it? Why sustain it?
I don't know, but the general asked us to be assigned to a different task. We'll meet up with you later, but we're going to be a little late to the party if you catch my drift.
Yeah. Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at this point. All I know, if it's to preserve you, you are like a treasure here.
God.
With a mind like yours, it could take Ocastia to the next level.
Are you channeling like actual Senator Armstrong right now?
It's Poe. What do you want me to say?
No, I'm just surprised that Poe has like such an eye for like Wally, because he's like a little twerp right now.
Yeah.
It's a weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Oh gosh.
So I was like, "Oh, thank you, sir." But I look forward to fighting alongside you.
Likewise.
And
now let's head back.
Wally nods and walks back with him.
All right, and now you've reconvened with the group, and you see the general is standing there. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, Wally, Poe, you're back. Well, I guess it's time for you guys to begin your day, as one might put it. Mm-hmm. So, are we ready, everyone?
Wally nods. Yarner.
Says, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. You see Malaya just like, yeah.
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 So Wally or Yarner kind of says, he says, well, as you all know, Wally and I will not be joining you guys at first, but we will eventually. We will be there. We have some things we have to take care of with the king first, and then we will be there. So, in my stead, will be the general. Strike quickly, strike hard.
You see everyone's little eyes just light up when you said that you and Wally will not be there.
Light up happy, like, oh, sad. So Yona's like, listen, guys, we have another task to take care of for the sake of the kingdom.
What's going on? What's going on?
There's a task. You're on a need to know basis. It's a task for the king. When you guys get there, strike quick, strike hard, and no mercy.
Okay. Clara's like, yeah, we'll do. And it's like, Ryan just nods. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel is like say no more. And it is like
just crying.
You just see with a frown on her face, just like.
Yarner's gonna look at the general and say, "General, can And he looks at Wally and says, "Can we get the boy a sword?"
Why, of course. All right. Yes. And he kind of makes a little whistle.
Yeah.
Get this boy some fine equipment. We need a sword pronto.
And Wally's like, "Mr. Yarner, I have my father's weapon. What would I need a sword for?" And Yarner's like, "The weapon is not going to save your life in every situation. You need something more." And Wally's like, "Well, I have hold on. I have a dagger. Won't that work?" And Yarner's like, "What are you going to do except pick your teeth with that? You need something heavier."
You hear a laugh coming from the Jarl. It's like, yeah, you know it.
Wally's like, "Well, I've only used a sword a handful of times in my life." And Yarner's like, "Don't worry, you'll get stronger, but you need a sword. You need to defend yourself if that thing fails." And does Wally have armor? He does. What kind of armor does he have? He does not have armor. He has traveler's clothes.
Gotcha.
Your host of the general says, "Can we get him like something a little bit heavier than what he's wearing?"
What are you looking for?
Just something to protect him.
Gotcha. No, we'll do. And he kind of yells down, make it armor as well to protect the lad. You know, something like leather.
And Wally's like, "Well, I can." He looks at the general. He's like, "Well, I have money back at the shop. I can always pay you for this. I've been meaning to do this, but I just haven't had the money right now to do it. But I'm sure if I ask my mother, she'll give me something."
All right, we can make a quick trip back at your shop if you want to get some money. But it's currently on the house.
Oh,
I mean, granted, everything's being paid for with taxes.
So in a way, I'm paying for this.
Yes, you are.
Okay, all right. I feel a lot better about this right now. Wally's whole thing is that he always wants to do the right thing, and he feels bad whenever people give him stuff.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Okay.
By the way, tax situation in Chalet, it is not unbearable at all. The only issues with it is more so racial with the upper and lower rank.
You know what? We can live with that.
Yes. No economic issues. No.
Okay.
No other issues. It's just
Chalet is prosperous. It's just racist.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. Let's not beat around the bush here. All right?
They're super racist.
It's more so like the castle than anything else. Like the citizens are fine. They're just not used to it as much.
Yeah.
I mean the upper ring isn't. Really...
Wait, so the lower ring, it's still successful economically, right?
Yeah. Think of it. A good way I think of it is like Ba Sing Se from Avatar.
Okay, so there's the lower ring, the upper ring, and then the palace.
Yes,
okay. Exactly. And right now we're in the palace.
That's actually exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the king has never been outside the palace walls before.
Now that I think about it, there is some
this
correlation.
Really, yeah, there is. Holy crap.
There is actually
Is there going to be a tea shop in Charlotte?
Okay,
the Jasmine Dragon.
The Jasmine Dragon. My boy, let's get this couple some tea. Ha ha ha. It'll be excellent, Father. We will. I mean, not father, uncle. Uncle. Oh, they don't know why they call me the Dragon of the West. Uncle!
All right. So Wally's gonna look at the group and say, "Well, thank you all for welcoming me with open arms. I know I seem like a stupid little kid, but
Ryan says, "No, you're not. You're not." And it kind of gives you a little look, just like
he wants my money. That's all he wants. And Wally's gonna be like, I promise I'll prove my worth to you guys. I just haven't gotten there yet. So
Poe should reply, "Believe me, kid, you already have."
And Wally's like, "Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much."
Thank you.
I have a feeling Wally's gonna accidentally bang Demaya.
Well, that's you.
No, because Demaya. I feel like Demaya's gonna seduce Wally.
Demaya is only ogling over Sporne at the moment.
No, I know that's weird though. Well, I mean, Spornite's pretty cute.
Yeah. Nobody has seen under his
Nobody has seen his face. What if he has no face?
Used to know.
All right, so I think we're ready to move out. I think we're ready to.
All right, well, I'm gonna give you a quick second. I need to take a quick piss.
Take a leak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Along with think how this is going to go down, I need to think of a quick speech that the king will make.
Ah.
There we go.
Praise Ocasti.
Praise Ocasti.
Meanwhile, Yarner has no money. Wally actually has a lot more money than Yarner does.
I think what's funny is that in the other campaign, Glass Knight is like a fucking poor.
He's poor.
Yeah, and the thing is that his team has like his people have no remorse for him.
Why?
There's a huge backstory to that.
Do they shit on Glass Knight?
Yeah.
Why?
I can't get into that.
Is Glass Knight a nice guy?
So anyway,
okay.
Yes, everyone is heading out now.
Okay.
And there's carriages all outside.
Okay.
Everybody.
Does Wally have his leather and his?
Wally is equipped now. Okay. He has a short sword. He has leather armor now. He has an AC increase of, I believe, either 1 or 2 at the moment.
Okay.
You could just make a mental note of that.
Okay. I'll say it's. So what do you want to say? 1 or 2?
You could look on Yarner, actually. I believe Yarner has leather armor or some. What kind of?
No, he's got chainmail. Yarner's got chainmail. Yeah.
I can't really say.
He's also got the dancing dragon. Yeah.
What's the dancing dragon?
Is that liquor that he got? He bought it in whatchamacallit?
Was it Southampton?
No. Where did him and Edith live?
They live in Southampton.
Yeah, he bought it in Southampton. The market where Hitler's speech occurred. Yeah, that was in Southampton. No, that farmhouse that they acquired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night was pretty cool. that session was pretty cool.
Hitler's speech.
What are we at for time, just for reference?
I think like an hour and 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
We haven't done anything.
I said before, it's more of an RP session, but...
Yarner still has one Molotov left.
Cool.
Put me on your head. Would you like to join Antifa? I will mask your face as you throw a Molotov cocktail through the window of a 7-Eleven.
Oh, by the way, with that being said, it was confirmed that there was Antifa at the January 6th.
Did
Yes, and not only like the small like small names, like big names.
Like big name people, Antifa was there.
Yes.
So Antifa is
leaders.
Okay, so Antifa is just as fucked up as we thought they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and along with that, like at first I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to give benefit of the doubt. Like there's no reason to. And like not only that, but also news. Like there was a news reporter that worked for CNN.
A part of it.
They
proved that.
Yes, it was proved. And like the person that was recording, I believe, was the reporter as well. And the person specifically said, let's hope that this doesn't get out.
Let's hope that this does.
As they're recording.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like, after hearing that, I'm like, all right, well, it's confirmed. I still think majority is Trump supporters, but you got mind games going on.
Yeah, no, Dems were there too.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there is don't tell me how I know this, but there is a plan for the inauguration. There is definitely another plan.
How do you know that?
I can't get into it.
Nixie. I feel like if you were to know that, you know it from Nick C because he lives in DC.
All right, I can't say anything.
Okay.
You can. I make jokes that he's a part of the FBI, but
I feel like he is though. Like low key. I feel like he was sent to monitor like some people, and then he found your group, and he's just like,
no, I
joined.
Cool. That's the thing.
He's like, here's the thing. I'll keep an eye on you to keep you safe. You're pretty funny.
He's the funny one.
He's the based one.
He's freaking funny.
Master P.
Yesterday when I was like in the call before he joined, he joined and he like he'll deafen himself and just start streaming, and like really? I joined and he had the VLC media player on, and he's playing a clip of Snoop Dogg when he was young in the 1990s about his lawyers, like the reason why they're defending him is not because of the name Snoop Dogg, but it's the name of the name of rap entirely. He's like, yeah, man, like these cops, or like whatever shit.
I feel like Nixie is black.
I don't know. It's there. The only other source says that he's white that has met him.
Who's that?
There's somebody that met him. Well, not somebody that's in the OG group, but that is only from secondhand experience.
So not from direct contact.
No, apparently they didn't meet up.
Yeah.
In DC, and he was like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
I really want to meet.
He's like, don't tell people I'm white.
Yeah. I like, because the thing is with Nixie, he doesn't want any sort of attention whatsoever. Like, and that's the most suspicious thing ever.
He doesn't want people to know who he is.
And the thing is, yesterday, it was yesterday or it was like on Friday. Mm-hmm. We're joking about like, he asked me what kind of phone do you have, and I'm like, an iPhone 5S, and he's like, oh, you rich man. I'm like, no, I've had this phone since like when I was 18 or so. It was my mom's phone as well. And he was like, no man, you're rich.
What does he have, a flip phone?
Well, he's telling me, he's like, I need a new phone. Well, he's like, I need a new phone because my internet service provider, my cell phone provider is not going to be covering the phone that I have anymore.
I feel like he's black. Hey, old man.
I was joking with him, and it was like, yeah, well, you know what you could use? You could use yourself a pager. And he's like, you say a pager? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll be right back. He like comes back not 10 seconds later. He's like, so you say a pager, right? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. And you hear the beep, beep, beep of a pager. I'm like, no!
He's a drug dealer. He's
like,
a drug dealer.
And I say, dude, the only people that have pagers are drug dealers.
The only people that have pagers are doctors, lawyers, and drug dealers. Nixie is a drug dealer.
That could be so.
Nixie is a drug dealer.
I want to say that. I really do. I really do. He's such a blessing.
It's a blessing to the world.
All right. Now, where were we?
Right,
I have no idea.
Wally is beefed up.
And all right, so
we're trying to figure out what his AC is buffed to.
We could just say add +1 or +2 right there.
+1 or 2? Which one is it?
I'm going to say +1.
Okay. So his AC is now 13.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay. And now he has a short sword.
Yeah. All right. So with the carriage, the one that you enter the carriage and you see, Yarner and Wally enter the carriage, and you see the general in there with two other guards, but these ones are like more. They look more regal.
Okay.
As one would put it, and you can kind of assume that they are part of the royal guard, like the special royal guard.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, and also what you notice about this carriage is when you walk in, it looks like you can't see out of it. It's more of like a tint.
It's like covered.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So all you know is that that's going to be happening. And when you're in, the general kind of turns to you, Yarner.
Okay.
And says, Yarner, I talked about the situation that we had earlier with the king, and I think we have something special in order for you.
Define special.
Well, that's the thing. I want to say, like, I asked him, what is so special? And he just said, you'll find out. So I don't know what he has planned. But all I know is that there's something going on here. Something good for you.
Yarner's very uneasy. He said, last time someone told me something was special, we fought a giant pumpkin lord.
Okay. Okay.
Yarner says, yes, I know it sounds crazy, but that might have been a dream I had, but...
Well, I heard something. No, that's only legends.
Does Yarner know that it was Shadowfell they went to? Does Yarner know anything about Shadowfell?
No,
okay.
No, not at all. All right, and time passes. What you hear the sounds of a giant gate opening. Hear the wheels going across the stone.
Okay.
Along with the trotting of the horses as well, going across the pavement. When you're out in the streets, it feels more calm than usual. And while you're driving, you start hearing the rain across the top of the wagon.
Well, it's like, great, I forgot my poncho.
You hear no response.
Wally, oh wait, is the proton pack waterproof? Do I have to roll for that? Do I have to roll? Is there something I could roll for that to see if it's waterproof or not?
That's up to you. In that case, it's up to you. There's nothing that says otherwise.
I mean, I think it is. I think his father wasn't retarded when he made it, so I think he might have made it waterproof.
Still in its prototype stage.
That is true.
So it's honest. You know what? I'm gonna let fate decide with
okay. Okay. The
chance cube is a chance cube. And it passes.
Yeah, sorry, it is waterproof. Okay, because Wally's like, I'm afraid. He's like, oh, it's a good thing. My father waterproofed this, or else this would be really bad.
And you see the guards like turn to you. They don't see nothing. They just...
Wally's gonna reach out his hand. He's like, oh, my name is Wally.
You just see them with stern faces.
Are they?
Think the British Guard.
Well, it's like, do you two fine gentlemen have names?
No response.
All right. I guess I can call you guys Fred and George. Yeah. I was like, all right. All right, cool. And Wally kind of sits back to where he is. He has like one hand. He has like one hand kind of ready to reach, like just one hand like on his lap, and the other hand like holding the hilt of his sword. And he looks at the general. It's like, General,
yes.
Do you have any tips for a new user for a sword?
The sword is an extension of the body. Treat it like you would a part of your arm.
Okay.
Don't be too hasty. For when you know your body, you know yourself. When you know your weapon, you know yourself.
Well, nods. He's like, all right. Okay. I think I can do that.
Keep it close. Keep it personal. And only share it with others when you really have little to intend to.
Okay. So, like... Okay. It's kind of like when they taught us about... never mind, that's not very appropriate for it now. He's in his mind, he's thinking of, like, sex ed in school. Where it's like, they have, like, their own version of the tea video. Like, nobody wants tea when they're sleeping.
Tea when they're sleeping.
Yeah, you never had to watch that video?
Tea?
Yeah, it's about like tea. It's like they don't want tea while they're sleeping. Don't shove tea down their throat when they don't want it. It was comparing sex to tea essentially.
Fuck.
And it was more geared towards men, obviously, because men statistically rape more than females do.
Man, I gotta say, like. Why they be rapists? Rapists only be raping the ugly woman.
What the fuck? That's fucked up. All right. It's raining. It's
a joke.
That's fucked up. All right, so it's raining. Yarner is looking at the general and says, General, why can't we see outside the cart?
Protection reasons. We're only one of the 3 carriages that contains the king. Of course, as this one doesn't. Just in case, I don't know, some half-orcs would like to kidnap somebody and start a racial divide of Chale.
Has that happened? Oh. And Yarner's kind of like, yeah.
And so we have these preventative measures, just in case. Especially for a first time of a king going outside the palace and going to the outer wall.
Yarner looks at the general and says, is that how it happened?
No. But we need our protections for reasons.
Oh. And Yarner kind of just sits and he's just chilling, waiting.
Yes. And as you go across the streets of just nothing, there's at times you just feel a couple of like coughs. It seems a bit out of place because back then when there was carriages going by, there was like noise. This time it's more quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reach what seems to be like another stop, you hear the sound of like gates opening more. And when you start hearing these gates open, like you hear the crank of the
yeah.
The door start
the portcullis starts rising.
Starts rising. You start going through and you hear the sounds of like many voices, like
just
crowds.
people. Yeah.
Crowds, yes, indeed. But they don't sound too happy at all.
They sound angry and pissed.
They do.
Wow.
And you feel bumps going alongside on the sides of the carriage.
Shaking the carriage.
And the general says, "Yeah, they're not too happy with us."
Yarner's like, I can imagine.
Yeah. Glad to see that you're with us. All right.
Yarner looks at the general and says, I'm not going to knock ahead unless I need to. Just remember that.
Understandable. All right, and all that. You reach the end, the stop, and yeah. And the general says, "Well, it looks like we're here." And like around a minute later, the door opens up, and it's pretty bright, but it's a bit like it's not that bright because there's rain going on right now, so it's darker.
It's like light outside, but it's cloudy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With a couple light rain.
Yeah.
And the general says, "Gentlemen, would you like to go?"
Yarner jumps out, and Wally follows. And Yarner looks at Wally and says, keep your guns at your side and your weapons at your side." And Wally's like, "Why?" And Yarner says, Folks will freak out if we reach for our weapons. We're just here to talk. We're not here to start any fights." And Wally nods and takes his hand off the hilt of his sword and kind of keeps his arms to his sides.
And as you exit the carriage, you see that you've went down this street before. This street took you to the catacombs.
Yeah.
And you can see in the back, or like farther off in distance, you see more one carriage still going by, and that would be the rest of everybody, or like what you could assume is everybody going.
The rest of the convoy. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the group heading out to the.
Yes, to the catacombs.
Yeah.
And so, what you see in front of you, huge crowds, huge, like think of, just think of any sort of like
riot or protest.
Yeah.
I have plenty of imagery to go off.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least a funnier example is think of the stands praising Lightning McQueen in Cars.
But they're all pissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cheering. And you're hearing slurs like "fuck you," "fuck you," "you little asshole," and chants like "kill the king, kill the king." Yeah, and just like and you see picket signs galore.
Yeah.
Of other stuff. Bocastia, more like Bocastia.
Bocastia.
Yeah. And so, with all these jeers, you, Wally, and the general, are standing there with like some of the royal guards.
Yeah.
And the general turns, points to his left, and says, "We have a stand if you want to." And like it's more of like an elevated platform.
Yeah.
As well, that was kind of like makeshiftly made.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're needed up there.
Yeah. All right. So Yarner and Wally are gonna walk up there.
Yes.
Is there like a center spot for like podium for the king?
There is.
Okay.
There is.
So Yarner and Wally are gonna stand on either side of the podium.
And you see that with this like podium stand, this elevated platform.
Yeah.
You see that, like, in front of you as well, there are, like, multiple sheets of barricades with guards at every single one. Just for this as well.
Yeah.
And so, along with that, you see that in the back, you're joined more and more by other special guards.
Okay.
Royal special guards. And in total, there is around 24 of them.
Why is there so many guards?
What?
Hey, he's like uncomfortable because of how many guards there are.
Yeah. Well, at least on stand. The ones at the barricades are regulars.
Yeah. So think of it like the throne room guards versus stormtroopers, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And so then, you see that there is you're joined ever so soon by the second hand. And he's like, Mr. Yarner, Mr. Wally, glad to see you two here. All right, well, His Highnesses should be arriving kind of like looks down at his imaginary watch that he has.
His imaginary, he's just at his wrist.
It's like, what am I talking about? I don't have a watch. Right
it's
around
like,
now.
He's like, what the fuck is a watch?
Yeah. What's also a watch? Right about now. And so then all the soldiers like make a salute real quick. Whoosh,
Yep.
whoosh. And you see the king start approaching. And so what's funny is that a large rioting crowd.
Yeah.
You can't really hear. You'll need something like a megaphone in order to get a message across or so, because currently you can barely hear each other. It's just that.
I have an idea.
All right.
It's kind of funny. So remember when Yarner intimidated the wolf bear, or like the owl bear?
Yeah.
All right. So Yarner is gonna go into a rage.
Okay.
And he's gonna roll to intimidate, and he's just gonna yell into the crowd to tell them all to stop talking.
All right. Roll for it.
What's in does going into a rage infect? No, it's charisma entirely. All right, so I'm not gonna go into a rage. Yeah, Yarna's just gonna roll to yell at the crowd.
Okay. Roll me.
It's intimidation, right? Or is it?
You can either make it performance or intimidation.
All right, I'll do intimidation because I'm proficient and I have a +5.
All right.
Come on, Yarner. 19.
All right. Let's see. You yell. However, it doesn't calm the crowds down at all. In fact, they kind of yell back at you just a bit. Oh, what are you doing up there, halfway? You should be down here. Kill the king. And then you see the chants turn into kill the king. Kill the king.
So Yarna's gonna look over at Wally. He's like, Wally, do your thing. And Wally's gonna be like, yes, sir. Molly's just gonna look up and he's just gonna point his father's weapon at the air and he's just gonna fire to create lightning that just hopefully silences the crowd.
Gotcha. Let me take a look here.
Wally's not trying to kill anybody. I want to make that clear.
All right. Lightning is shot up into the sky.
Yeah.
And then a couple like you see that the audience starts to get quiet for a bit.
Yeah.
And you look in the back and you see that you see joining you is blasts of fire, lightning, and a cloud of poison.
No!
Kind of just fly up into the air. And then it goes back.
It goes back to yelling?
Yeah.
Wally's like, Yarner, sir, I don't know what to do.
And then the general's like, Dragonborns. Those damn Dragonborns.
Wait, who's a Dragonborn?
Well, it's like, the lower rank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Dragonborns must, oh, gosh, it wasn't, all right. Well, how are we going to do this? What do you think? Fast. Oh.
Wally says, wait, I have an idea.
What's your idea?
Wally's going to look at Yarner and say, Mr. Yarner, come with me. And they're going to walk off the stage. And they're going to walk to the front of the guards.
Okay.
And Wally's going to be like, sir, could you give me some room to walk?
All right, but be safe.
And Wally's going to be like, please calm down. We just want to talk. There's a
lot of voices. You need to really get your point across by yelling.
Wally's going to start yelling. He's like, guys, we have a situation.
Fuck you!
Yarna's going to be like, hey, you knock it off. And Yarna's going to start yelling back at that guy.
Yelling back. All right, roll for intimidation.
Yeah, do it.
Because there's quite a bit of it.
8.
Yeah. All right, and then they get more angry at you. Hey! Are you with that king? Are you really a halfling?
Yarna says, listen, we're trying to help you.
Trying to help us? We want in! We want... Kill the king if you really want...
We'll get to that!
And then it starts turning to cheering. Kill the king!
I'm trying to see if there's anything Yarner can do that'll... Oh, God. There's, like, nothing Yarner can do to, like, calm their shit. Yeah, Wally's got nothing.
You see, well... I can't reveal any answers from you.
Oh, God. What do we...
You just know that it's hard to really talk right now because there's just so many voices. It's basically a mob mentality right now.
So Yarner's gonna run back. He's gonna pull Wally back, and they're gonna go back behind the guards.
Yes.
And they're both gonna walk on stage, and Yarner says, "What if we just sit? Like, what if we drop our weapons? What if we just sit?" To the general.
Anything's anything at this point. I mean, king?
And
the king is not responding. He's just sitting. And then the general turns back and says, I think you might... He's like, I think you might be right! He's trying to get his voice up.
Yeah. And Yarner's like, but not on chairs. Like, let's sit, like, on the edge of the stage. Like, formal or informal. We're just trying to have a chat with them.
All right, that could work. All right, that could work, I think. And so you, Yarner...
So Yarner's going to start first. He's going to look at everybody who's looking at him. He's going to sit down and toss his axe onto the ground, like right in front of him as he sits on the stage.
All right.
Wally's going to do the same thing with his sword, but he's still going to keep his backpack on.
Gotcha. The crowd is still going on, and ever so slightly, you are joined by the general as well, and he kind of like sits down as well. He kind of takes off his royal garments or any sort of like general kind of attire, kind of just like lays it down, and you could see that the faces are starting to get a bit confused, and that it's still kind of dying down a bit, but there still is like commotion going on.
Yeah.
And this like general kind of like yells over a bit and says, "King." And the king just like looks over and let's see. Then what he does is that he takes off his like robe.
Yeah.
And then sits next to... It doesn't sit next to. He moves over to Wally.
Yeah.
And says, "You mind, Wally, if I sit next to Yarner?"
Wally says, "Oh, yeah, sure." And he scoots over. And he kind of like pats the spot right next to him.
And then he sits down. And with one final word, well, not word, he kind of gives a look over to his second hand and just like points right to the edge of the stage. Yeah. And he's like, "Okay."
He's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just moves right over. And so now everyone has it. And let's take a look here. So the crowd is dying down a bit, but there still is a couple of voices going on. What would you like to do? There still is like.
Are the people in front like quiet down, like the people that can see them?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of them are, besides like a couple of hecklers.
Yarner's gonna hop off the stage for a second and run to the front, and he's gonna look at one of the people at the front of the gate. He's like, "Listen, can you just pass along to the rest, like pass it down, like the crowd, just to like just quiet down, because we can't do our thing until you guys are ready to."
All right, and And the half elf man is like, oh, okay, sure. And he's like, he kind of like turns his head, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm just gonna let that come down here. But can you like pass it down to the people in the back? And you're still in the front. Still a couple of voices going on. But there's still a guy. You can now clearly identify who the person saying "fuck you" is going on. You fucking matriarchal piece of shit! I hope you suck my mother's dead gravestone.
Does Yarner see who this person is?
Yeah, you can clearly
You see him? Yarner's gonna be like, Sir!
Yes. And what you can see is that it's a dwarf man. So.
Sir, do you know...
Why?
Listen, sir, I know you're upset. My father was a dwarf, and I know. Just give us a minute.
So you know?
I know, and I don't like it, but that's what we're trying to change. Give us a second, we'll change your mind.
Change my mind. All this time.
We'll make things right, I promise.
How will you make things right?
Give us a second to explain.
Alright, I want you to roll me charisma.
Charisma with my 0 modifiers, Yarner. 18.
Check real quick. Oh yeah, you pass. And he's like, oh, okay. One chance. You kind of like point.
Yeah, Yarner says, you won't regret it. And Yarner goes back to the stage, but Yarner, like, he kind of has, like, an idea in the back of his head. He's, like, kind of faking, like, having a hard time trying to get back. He could easily jump up there, but he's, like, faking having a hard time because he's so short, and he kind of reaches his hand out to the king to help him up onto the stage.
The king gladly reaches his arm down and helps him up. And the king starts off by saying, my citizens, over the past couple of years, you have been engraved to a sort of racism that has plagued Chale. And it is true. But reasons may not expect. The inner city is suffering under terrible diseases right now. And we need to set up these walls to help you. With me, that I have over here, is the representative of your class, also known as Mr. Yarner Yuff. Kind of looks to you. Mr. Yarner, do you have any words for your people, our people, the people of Ocastio?
Yarner stands up and says, I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I'm not going to pretend to know, like I know, how difficult it's been for you guys. Growing up as a halfling, I never knew my family, and I was raised by dwarves. And yes, we've all experienced a little racism. However, these walls that were meant to destroy the society of Chale might be the thing that protects the rest of it and preserves the people. We have suffered losses, and I have suffered losses. I'm not going to pretend how difficult it's been for you all. I won't pretend that I know the struggles, and I won't pretend that I know what it's like to live here in Chale. But what I can promise you is that things will change once we contain our situation. We are here to inform you of the situation going on in your city, and we are here to protect you. So, if it seems like the city is being harder than usual, that is because we quite literally are protecting you from what could be the end of Chale. Some of you were born here, some of you were raised here, some of you just got here, like myself. But when you stop to think about it, we have one thing in common. We are all citizens of Ocastia. And we must unite in this difficult time. As difficult as it may be, we're not half orcs, we're not half elves, we're not elves, we're not halflings, we're not dwarves. We are Ocastia. We are Ocastia. And it is time for us to sit and unite. So, cut each other some slack. And today, focus on the future and not what was behind you. Focus on what you're going to do to make Chale a better place for tomorrow. And have faith in us, because we are trying to do what's best for the city.
All right. I did something quite new here.
Okay.
I'm going to have to ask you to roll 11 rolls of
Charisma.
persuasion.
Persuasion? Holy shit. What is Yarna's persuasion? I feel like I'm going to drop the ball on this. I hope I don't, because that was a really good speech. Persuasion is +2. It's my charisma modifier. Yeah. Is that your... Yeah, okay. So 11.
What?
11, you said?
Yes, 11. Just tell me the numbers.
So 10. 15. 5. 3. 10, 15, 5, 3. 6. God damn it. 7. 6. What was that? 9? 11. I'm not going to use this because I feel like it's ruining my rolls. What's that? 7? 8. 21. 17. And I think this is my last one. 17.
All right. Well, when you first started talking, there still was like noise being brought out.
Yeah.
As you're continuing on, it really started to die, and it was like, well, granted, there would still always be noise. It's just, especially when you got to like the middle stages, that's when you really had all ears.
Yeah.
And a bit later on, you really struck a nerve when you said, "Oh, it's been hard," because they're like, "What are you?" You're kind of like, you're hearing noises. It's like, "Yeah, it has been hard for you," and like whatever.
Yeah.
But towards the end, you really hit home with it, and with that you have now just a really silent crowd, and with that, the king says, "Thank you, Mr. Yarner." And as a response for all this, once we get this disease kicked out of Ocastia and cured our citizens, I promise you that there will be no more upper and lower class. You'll be free to walk amongst the upper ring as you would, as you are our citizens. God bless Ocastia. And so, now after hearing that, how do you react to that, as at least DM to player?
DM to player.
Yes.
What the fuck? Yarner's gonna look at the king.
Yeah.
And he's gonna hold out his hand for a handshake, and he's gonna be like, "God bless Ocastia."
God bless Ocastia. Representative of the people. And you go in. I want a strength saving throw real quick.
Strength saving throw from Yarner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yarner's he might be a little tired right now. 17.
17. You easily are able to withstand the king's handshake.
The grip of the king.
Yeah. And everyone in response is like speechless.
Yeah.
After what the king just said. And even the second hand and the general are like the general kind of has like a little smile on his face, like, what?
It's like, it's about time, like.
Yeah. And the king says, "It has been far too long that we have been separated. Only when united, as what Yarner says, will we take down this war, and will Okastia be blessed again. Stay safe, everyone. And we are fighting for you."
Holy shit. Yarna's gonna nod and give a salute to the crowd.
All right, and
is there like an Ocastian like salute, like, or like an Ocastian like wave or something like that?
Not really. Not really whatsoever. And so far everyone is like, well, no, not so far. Like everyone after that is like,
diplomacy wins.
And you just see the king just get up from, he stops sitting.
Yeah.
And he puts back on his robes.
Yeah.
And exits.
Yarner steps down, grabs his axe, and hands Wally his sword, and they both sheath him. And Yarner looks at the general and says, "Well, how'd we do?"
The general's speechless.
Yarner gives a pat on the shoulder and he says, "I guess words really do win wars."
Just nods, just like, yes. They do.
Yarner says, "I think it would send a very good message if me and the boy walked through the crowd into the upper ring."
Okay.
And Yarner looks at the general and says, "You guys will be fine to get back."
Will do. And good luck if you're planning to go into the catacombs.
And Yarner nods and looks at Wally and says, "Boy, let's go." And as they walk to the guards and say, "May we pass?"
They easily just stand aside.
Yeah.
And they even open up the barricades as well.
Yarner and Wally are walking down the path, walking through the people. the speechless people.
I see. Roll for initiative.
No! Who? Both of them?
Both of them.
Oh, fuck. Yarner rolls a 4.
All right.
And what's Wally going to roll? Wally rolls a 5.
All right. What? All right. This is a surprise round.
Okay.
What is Wally's AC?
Wally's AC is 13.
13.
Yeah.
You get hit. You get sucker punch in the back of the head. But it doesn't hurt you.
No.
You get whacked.
Wally's like, "God, Jesus, what?"
And you turn around and there's a person like angry at you in the crowd. And the person yells out, "Liar! Liar!" And he begins to start. He begins to try to punch you guys.
Okay. Who's he punching?
Primarily Wally, but
Wally, okay.
But his turn just ended.
Okay. Now on to the full round. Who goes first?
He's going to try again to punch as well. she's going right for Wally, and a 3 doesn't. Well, he's a bit like skittish a bit. I'm not skittish. He's a bit like sloppy in his movements. It's like he's just a brawler just trying to punch you.
Yeah.
And you can see like a circle opens up a bit.
Yeah.
And you could see, Yarner, that this was the same dwarf from before. As well. I am not convinced. That's what he says.
Wally, I think it's Wally's turn next. He rolled a 5, and Wally's gonna hold up his hands. He's like, "Sir, I have never lied about anything in my entire life. You have to listen to us and trust us."
I did, and I'm not convinced.
Wally says, "What will it take to convince you?"
To bring back my dead mother.
Wally says, "Tell me about your mother. Tell me what happened."
Now is not the time.
I think now is the time.
All right. He's getting ready to strike again. So now Wally's turn is going to be over if he doesn't. Yeah. Well,
who goes first in the turn order? Who goes?
It was him, then Wally, and then. Okay. So for this case, roll me persuasion
From Wally.
Yes.
Okay.
From Wally.
Wow, Wally has proficiency on persuasion. Ooh. 21.
You rolled a nat 20.
What the fuck?
I can show you right here.
What the fuck?
He's not convinced at all. Yarner, it's your turn.
All right. Does Yarner know Dwarven? He knows Halfling. Fuck. Yarner is gonna get in between Wally and the brawler. He's gonna kind of like yank Wally back and like step in front of the brawler. And he's like, "Listen, I give you my honor as a halfling, and as a halfling raised by dwarves, nonetheless, that we are not lying to you."
And all right, give me another charisma roll.
Persuasion or charisma?
I mean persuasion. Yeah.
Okay. 19.
And he responds back in Dwarven, hinga dinga durgan. But actually he says, "You may not be lying, but that damn fool the king is. And you're just his puppet."
Yarner says, "I am a puppet to no one." And Yarner's like starting to lose his temper. He knows he shouldn't, but he's starting to lose his temper.
He's like, and he just starts laughing. And he's like, "I could see it with my own eyes. You are nothing but a puppet."
Yarner looks at the dwarf and says,
You could see that with this crowd, like they're kind of looking at the dwarf like he's crazy or something like that. And along with that, you're seeing guards starting, like they're trying to rush the crowd because they see this breaking out.
Yarner's gonna put his hands up to the guards and be like, "Guards, no, don't." He's gonna kind of like try to keep them back because he doesn't want this dwarf to get arrested, or like.
And he says in reply, "Oh look, the puppet is trying to have an authority over the guards. Oh, isn't that cute?"
Yarner.
Believe me, I know you're telling the truth, as what a puppet would.
Yarner's he's gonna unsheath his axe, and then he's gonna drop it to the ground, and he's gonna put his hands up and he says, "If this does not happen, if this does not happen, and can this." Oh God, what I'm going to say is very treasonous. I don't want to say this. Can I say something player to DM? Something that's not character to character?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want Yarder to say is to like whisper in the dwarf's ear and be like, "I will kill the king myself if this doesn't happen." But like, I can't do that because it's going to get me into trouble. So Yarner is going to step closer to him and he's going to say, "I will see to it personally that this happens. And it will be to my last breath that this happens." And I can promise you that.
And the dwarf yells out in reply, How? I am not convinced.
Yarna says, what can I do to convince you?
And he says, you already know.
Yarna whispers into his ear, and he says, does this dwarf speak halfling?
Does he? No.
Okay. So, oh god, how can Yarna convince him? How can he convince him?
And the crowds just think he's crazy. just for reference.
Oh, can I do a player research real quick?
Player research?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Just go right for it. And the top of the round is going on, and he's gonna try striking. Does an 11 hit your Yarner?
You know the answer.
Kind of like swings and you just like block it.
He just hits Yarner in the face, and Yarner just stands there.
Yeah.
All right. Yarner looks at him and says, I swear on the dwarven gods, and I swear on Baron of True Silver, that I will make this happen.
Well, I swear as well. He's like, fuck it, you can't convince a puppet that he's a puppet. And then he just turns and says, get out of my way! And he starts pushing people aside.
Yarner lets out a heavy sigh, and he takes his axe and resheaths it, and he looks at the rest of the crowd and says, I guess we can't make everybody happy. And he motions for Wally to move on past the crowd.
All right. And you're going through the crowd again, and so far it's pretty good, pretty fine. I'm just trying to find the right die here. What's the right?
Are you rolling for encounters?
I'm just trying to find it. Where is it? Oh, I found it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, roll for initiative again.
Nice. All right, this is going to be for Yarner. Yarner rolls a 10. Wally rolls an 8.
And let's just make it plain and simple. These guys just want your money.
Okay.
He's like, I don't care what you said. We're dying on these streets. We need your money. And we're looking. Please just give us your money right now. Well, you don't want to know what happens. And you're looking at them. They look like they could step on you. They're two dragonborn.
Are they?
and they noticed the proton pack that was on Wally.
Yeah.
They're like, you were the one that shot the lightning up into the air. And you thought we couldn't take that on? But trust me, the power of the people.
Wally says, "No, it wasn't to hurt you guys. It was to get your attention."
Well, you tried with all that aggressive yelling from half. And they look down and they notice Yarner. You tried to suppress us.
Yarner,
and then you tried to threaten us with the lightning.
Yarner says, "I apologize if it seemed oppressive. We were trying to get your attention."
It was.
But listen, we couldn't talk unless you guys were ready to listen. So we tried what we could, and we found diplomacy was the best thing to do. So we waited until you quieted down.
Roll me charisma.
For you.
Or no, persuasion again.
All right. 19.
Let's see here real quick. They are fully convinced.
Okay.
Okay.
So what Wally's going to do as good measure is he's going to take 60 gold out of his pocket, and there's two of them, right?
60 gold.
Yeah. He's going to take 60 gold out of his pocket. Is that a lot? Is 60 gold a lot?
For reference, 1 day's work is like equivalent to 60. So you're essentially handing them that's a Mr. Beast move right there.
All right, so he's gonna take out 60 gold, and he's gonna hand 30 each to the the Dragonborns. He's like, I apologize if we upset you.
It's just like, none taken. Thank you.
And Wally says, let's work to make Charlie a better place. And him and Yarna keep walking forward.
God bless you. God bless you. Oh. Yeah.
Wally's Mr. Beast. Wally has a lot of gold.
Yeah. And so you're walking through, and you get to the end without anything else really going on.
Yeah.
And so you're back at the inner not palace, but
the inner walls.
Yeah. You're in the inner wall area.
All right.
Cool. Now, what do you want to do?
And Wally's gonna look at, or Yarna's gonna look at Wally and say, "Let's go check on your mom, kid." And Wally's like, "Oh, okay." And they're gonna walk over to Wally's house, his father's store.
All right. And for reference here, it stopped raining, so
okay.
There's no more.
It's
rain.
dry now.
It's been cooling off.
Okay.
And after around an hour or two walking, you manage to see the house, and you see that the house itself. Real 1 second. The house itself looks destroyed. It looks pretty like damaged, at least on the outside. You see a couple of busted windows.
Is it like a 2-story like building where there's like the shop at the bottom and the house up top?
Yeah.
Okay.
The shop part looks really banged up.
Okay.
At least on the front.
Okay.
Yes. Now, do you want to walk inside?
Yeah. Wally's gonna sprint to the door and try to open it.
All right. You sprint to the door. You open it, and you see that the shop itself doesn't look that beat up. It's more so the front area with broken glass on the floor.
People just threw rocks.
And you see canisters as well there as well.
Canister. Oh,
Yes.
Is this gonna affect Wally? Him being in here is he gonna get sick being in here?
Roll me intelligence.
Okay.
For Wally.
What is Wally's intel? +3. Yeah. Okay. 22.
You know that the canisters do not look like they are protruding anything of it. So you know that at least how kind of pathological viruses can work, or some sort of plague.
Yeah.
Is that there needs to be like an active source of it.
Okay.
Yes, or else it can't persist to live on.
Yeah.
So it's been around a day or two.
Okay.
So you're not so sure if it's safe or not. You're more so taking a risk.
Okay. So Wally's gonna. He still has his traveler's clothes, right? Is he wearing them, or is he just wearing his armor?
He's wearing. I think he's wearing them with his armor.
Okay. So Wally's gonna. He's gonna take. What is he gonna do? Does Yarna have anything he can use? Can Wally just put his shirt up over his nose? All right. Well, he's gonna put his shirt up over his nose, and he's gonna walk through the shop. And he's gonna reach the stairs that goes up to their house, and he's gonna yell for his mom. He's gonna be like, "Ma, you all right?"
You hear, "Oh yes, honey, I'm fine."
He's gonna run upstairs, and is upstairs destroyed? Is their apartment destroyed, or is it?
It looks fine.
Oh God. Well, he's gonna be like, Ma, you all right?
And she says, yes, I'm fine.
How you feeling? You feeling sick? And he's like taking her temperature, and like with his hand, and like feeling to see if she's like sick or anything.
Gotcha. And she says, "Yeah, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine." And you see that she is like currently like making food or something like that.
Oh, so she's fine.
Yeah.
And like Wally, like
And she says, "Oh, you're looking beautiful today." She just hits the floor.
No, you can't do that, dude.
And she just kind of just collapses just right on the floor, just right in front.
Wally's gonna yell for Yarder. He's like, "Yeah, Mr. Yarder, come up here." Yarder's like, "Oh, well, what's going on?" He's like, "Mr. Yarder, I think my mom's sick." And Yarder's gonna run up the stairs, and while Wally's gonna try to revive, he's like feeling her pulse and like all that.
You can feel pulse.
Okay.
And shortly after, she kind of just wakes up a bit, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what came over me there."
Ma, what's wrong? What did you breathe in the?
Oh, that gas? That happened yesterday?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I didn't want to.
But did you do it?
What did I do?
Did you breathe it in?
I don't believe so.
So what's wrong? Are you okay?
I feel fine.
What's wrong with his?
What would you like to do?
Jarner's gonna roll perception to.
All right.
Yeah, he's gonna roll perception to look at Wally's mom.
All right.
16.
16.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You notice that her face is looking just a bit more white than usual.
Yeah.
Like her face. So at least looking at it, yeah, it looks like blood left her head for a second.
Just the blood rushed out of her head.
Yeah, kind of like if somebody faints or something like that.
Okay, but why did she faint? Yarna's gonna be like, "Son, let's what can we do?" And Wally says, "We gotta bring her back to the castle. We gotta bring her back." And Yarna's gonna say, "Is that safe? She could have been exposed." And Wally says, "She said she wasn't exposed, so she wasn't." And Yarna's gonna look at her and say, Miss Stonetail, were you exposed to the gas?"
And she says, "No, I didn't believe so. Once I saw the commotion outside, I just wanted to. I went right upstairs, and I just hid. I hid, like it was. Oh my! I was worried for you, Wally, when I saw you."
Does she have any like wounds on her or anything, like visible wounds?
No, she looks completely fine.
Or is she just shocked to see Wally?
She's just shocked to see Wally.
Or is she actually sick, or are you fucking with me?
I can't really answer that question.
Dude, you can't do this to me!
Yeah.
So Wally's going to be like, "Yarna, can you sit with her for a minute?" And Yarna's like, yeah. So Wally's going to run into his room. He's going to run into his room. He's going to... What's he gonna do in his room? Why is he going to his room? Am I retarded? All right.
Is Wally retarded?
Is Wally retarded?
Go into his room and jack off.
Does Wally have like? So Wally's gonna like grab a blanket out of his room.
Yeah.
And he's gonna like give it to Yarner to put on his mom, and then Wally's gonna run back downstairs to like he's gonna like run back downstairs. Is there like any of his leftover like father's tools or stuff to like that he can grab onto?
Leftover father's tools. Yes, there is.
All right. So he's gonna grab some of his father's tools, and he's gonna grab like his dad's like work belt.
Yeah.
Like his tool belt with like all the tools on it.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna put it on. He's gonna run upstairs. He's like, all right. I got what I needed. Let me get my mom's purse. And he like runs into his parents' room, grabs his mom's purse. He's like, all right, can you pick her up, Yarner? And Yarner's like, I can try. And they're both gonna team lift his mom.
All right, give me a strength check.
Okay. So 13 for Wally and 17 for Yarner.
All right, you're able to lift her up.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're gonna bring her downstairs.
you bring her downstairs, and she's like, "Oh my, the shop looks really, really damaged."
Wally's like, Ma, don't look at the shop. Just look at me, all right?
Okay.
And they leave the door, and Wally locks the door. And he says, "Ma, can you stand? Can you walk?"
I think so. I don't know.
So they're gonna try to stand her up.
All right, and she's able to stand up, and she's like, she's a bit wobbly. But she's like, "Yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I am."
Wally and Yarn are gonna take her arms, and Wally's like, "All right, we're gonna bring you to the castle now, Ma. Okay?"
Okay.
And they're gonna walk with her to the castle.
All right. Yes. Around an hour, like escorting her.
Yeah.
She kind of faints again, just right out of the blue.
Are they able to catch her?
I mean, you have the arms around her, so you're able to.
So I was like, Ma, come on, focus.
I'm sorry. Just,
All right.
I don't know. I just feel so lightheaded all of a sudden.
So Wally and Yarn are both gonna pick her up.
Oh my gosh.
Again, they're gonna team lift her, and they're gonna try to carry her back to the castle.
All right, and you arrive right at the castle as well.
And Yarn yells to the guards like, "Guards, we need help with this."
What is it?
And Yarn's like, "This is Wally's mother. She keeps fainting, but we're not entirely sure what's wrong with her. She hasn't been exposed to the gas, but just we don't know what's wrong."
All right, well let's take her to the medical ward. Open the gates. Gates open up. You're able to go into the castle. And so now you're inside the castle. You are let in. The door opens up for you. There's a couple of guards there.
Yeah.
And you're now inside. Where do you want to go?
We're gonna follow the guards to the medical ward.
Right.
Are they still carrying his mother, or are the guards carrying his mother?
You two are carrying the mother still.
Okay, so we're gonna carry her to the medical ward.
And the guards make sure to maintain a 6-foot distance.
Yarn says, "Is there any linen we can use to put over our faces?"
And you look at Wally that already has it.
Yeah.
And Wally already has something over his face at least what you said.
Yeah.
But the guard says yes, and they come back. They have sashes, sashes, and put this.
So they're gonna tie him over their faces. Yarner's gonna put over. They're gonna put down. He's gonna he's carrying her legs, so he's gonna put down her legs, tie it over her face, and then pick her legs back up. And Yarner's gonna tie it back to his face.
Yes.
And Wally ties one on, or one of the guards ties it on for Wally. So they're just gonna carry back to the medical ward.
All right. Good. All right, and so with that, you two arrive at the medical ward.
Yeah.
There are multiple. There's no doors on the left side, but there are doors on the right, and you see a receptionist kind of walking down the halls and says, "Hi, what can I do? What do you need?"
Well, I was like, please help my mom. She keeps fainting. We don't know why. To our knowledge, she hasn't been infected. She hasn't come into contact, but we have a cover over her face just in case. Please just do something for her. Please help us.
Okay. We'll get you a room. And the room that she takes you to is the same room that Ozzy was staying in.
Okay.
And then they place her in. She's in there, and the person kind of turns to you and says, "When you're ready, we actually have some very important news for you." And so, but take your time. And so now it's just you. Well, yeah, you and the mother.
It's Wally Yarner and the mother.
I say you for everything.
Yeah.
For both your characters.
And Wally's like, Yarner, I'm gonna stay here with my mother. Why don't you go and see what's up? And Yarner's like, yes, I shall. Just holler if you need anything. And Yarner leaves and catches up with the receptionist and say, what's the news?
So, around a week or so, or not a week, but a couple of days ago, You came to us with a very exotic creature known as a bule, and I have good news. The bullet has made a recovery and is now ready to go. The only bad news is that its shell is currently very damaged. So if you're planning on using it for any sort of defensive purposes, it probably won't like it.
Is there a makeshift? Is there any like spare giant shields or anything we could put over the bullet and strap onto it?
We could work something out. Yes. I'll make an order for that.
Genesis, please do so.
And then she starts going off. Now.
Yeah, doing like the nurse strut.
Yeah,
and Yarner's like, "Damn, I'm married, Edith." And Yarner walks back in and says, "It was nothing. Don't worry about it." And they sit down and they wait for a doctor or a nurse to come in to take a look at his mother.
Yes. And the doctor walks in and he says, "Huh. So at least all right, well let's check up on this individual here." And he starts going through his procedures, looking at that. He feels the head of her, and he turns and says, "She's burning up.
And
she's definitely had a fever."
Wally says, "Well, will the health potion fix this? Would?"
I mean, health potions are for more so physical injuries. This is one that can. Oh, we need a potion of cure disease or something like that. But unfortunately, we don't have too many of those. We could try. Yes.
Wally says, "Please."
And he gives her the health potion. I mean, not the health potion.
Cure disease.
Yeah, cure disease.
Okay.
She takes it, and she still feels the same as well.
Oh, she got sick.
And the doctor turns and says, "At least from what we've been told, this is the same symptoms that people under the cultist attack have been feeling as well."
Wally looks at his mother and says, "Ma, you said you didn't come into contact."
She's currently sleeping right now.
And Wally's just kind of sighing, and he kind of starts to tear up. And Yarna looks at the doctor and says, "What can we do?"
As far as I know, nothing yet. But when did this happen? When did she start feeling these symptoms?
Yarna shrugs and says, "We visited her about maybe an hour or two ago to check up on her. She fainted when Wally, her son here, went to visit her to check up on her, make sure she was all right."
All right. Well, I guess if it's that new of cases, or that this new of a case, it might be beneficial to at least draw a blood sample to see what's really going on here. Although our science with diseases is quite limited, we could probably understand something with at least the symptoms that are just starting here. So, as far as we don't know,
Wally
we could try.
Wally just remains silent as he's with his mom. And he looks up at the doctor and says, "Will it make her better?"
We don't know.
"Is there a chance she could be better?"
We don't know.
Wally kind of looks down at her sadly and says, "Do what you have to do."
Thank you. But bringing her here right now has made a huge contribution to at least solving what's really going on here. And if you don't mind, I have got some more procedures to do. And kind of opens the door and walks out.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Don't be near her. We don't know if this thing spreads."
Wally kind of steps back and kind of like sits a safe 6 foot distance from his mother.
Free mandated
Yeah.
distance.
And Yarner says, Wally, Molly, the others. And Wally says, Yarner, I can't leave her. Because if my father dies, then I can't leave her. And Yarner says, I understand. And says, I'll let the others know. And Wally says, okay. So Yarner leaves, and he goes over, he passes by the receptionist on his way out, and says, keep an eye on him, please.
Will do.
And Yarner is going to go look for the general.
Yeah. Right.
So Wally will not be joining. This is for the team. Wally will not be joining you. As cool as that would be, he will not be joining.
That's fine.
He has to care for his mother.
Yes. That's all good. All right. And so where would you like to go in this big castle?
Yarner is going to go to the planning room where he talked to the general.
All right. You go to there. You don't find him there. Or would you like to search for him?
The throne room.
All right. You approach the throne room, and you just want to enter. Do you want to knock?
Yarner's going to knock.
Knock. You hear, come in.
Yarner enters.
And you see the second hand there with the general and the king, and the general looks up. Oh, Yarner, what you doing back here for? Shouldn't you be over by the oh gosh, what was the catacombs?
Yarner's going to approach, and he's going to kneel in front of the king, and then he's going to stand back up and look at the general and say, General, there's been a situation.
Oh, what has happened?
We went back to Wally's house to see if his mother was okay.
All right.
She was feeling very feverish and faintish.
Okay.
She swears that she would not come in contact with the disease. So we brought her back to the castle with the proper coverings to make sure she wouldn't infect anyone else.
So you're telling me here there's somebody that is infected that's in the castle?
She's in isolation. Is
there anybody else with her?
Just Wally. They're both in isolation.
Okay.
But Wally does not want to leave his mother.
All right. The second hand just looks at the king. King just gives a little nod. The second hand is special guards show up.
Yeah.
And they say, see to it that we have a special guard rotation just for the care of Miss Stonetail. And then they're like, sir, and they go off stage.
Yarner says, I will be joining them alone. I will be joining the rest of them alone, but I felt it necessary to keep you updated.
Okay.
And Yarner says,
Thank you.
Yarner says, we had some trouble on the way back. We had some scuffle with...
what happened? What happened, says the second hand.
Yarner says, well, just a couple citizens were not too happy with what was said. But...
the second hand is yep, that is what happens.
But Yarner said, ultimately, I think you made quite the impression. And he motions to the king and says, I think you made quite the impression today.
And kind of just kind of nods his head a bit. And the second hand says, the king acknowledges it, and he says likewise as well.
Yarner says...
as do I.
And then Yarner points out and says, they took a blood sample from... They are going to take a blood sample from Miss Wally's mother, and will use this to start working on a cure.
That's good. The sooner we can get an upper hand against this, the better.
Yeah, and Yarner will nod and say, I will see to it that I will go to the cultist hideout and lend my assistance.
All right. From what I hear, your bulle is better. Do you want to ride it there?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Is there any protection we can give the bulle before I leave?
From what I know, we had a receptionist come to us that just had it issued. And so right now, you'll find right when you walk outside, your bulle will be waiting for you.
Excellent. And Yarner nods and says, my lord. And essentially runs because he's got to get there quick.
All right, and so you are out there. You open up the door and you see like it's still an overcast day, but you see the boule there.
Yeah.
And it kind of like gives out a kind of thing, and you see it like with like shields kind of attached to it, like with like rope and stuff like that. It's very makeshift, but
is he comfortable at least? Like
you could tell by the look in its eyes that it's like
it feels weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cat with mittens on.
Kitten mittens. So Yarder's gonna jump on top of. He's gonna jump on top of Bubbles.
All right, roll me. Strength.
Strength. Okay.
To stay on because this thing doesn't have any notes.
Yeah. What was that? 12.
12. Let's see. It's hard to hold your grip on, but you managed to make do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yarder's gonna look at Bubbles and say, "All right, Bubbles, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta go save Mom, all right?"
And like Bubbles is like and just starts like making his way real quick. Like this is the sound of what he's doing. Reaches the gates, and what it does is that it hops up. It jumps.
It hops over the gate.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Like this is a tall wall. Keep in mind. And so what it does is that it hops just like so, and dives right into the ground. Just
Yarder's riding the bullet underground
as it's traveling. The bullet angles itself.
Yeah.
And it just tunnels just right through the portcullis.
So it just goes right through and going.
Yeah. So Yarner's on his way to go to the catacombs.
Oh, God.
And this is where we'll end for tonight.
Oh, God. Yarner's on his way. Dude, Wally, I couldn't bring Wally with his mother sick. I couldn't do it.
All right. So I'll include you with next time that this happens. And I know how to at this point.
Yeah.
You're giving me a lot of ideas now. And I got to say, last session they started doing the catacombs, and I gotta say they're wrecking house.
Dude, they were making the DM code.
Yeah, they're actually wrecking house.
That was a 2 hour and 42-minute session.
Yeah.
That was all improv.
I had the general plan already sketched out
Yeah.
for this. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
It's just how and what happened here. The only thing that was
Wally's mother always going to be sick? Like, was that like the original plan?
I rolled for percentile dice. It was 8%. Like for if she was sick or like if she wasn't sick.
Okay.
While for you, the only other one that really had a chance of getting sick was Yarner because he didn't have any face coverings when he was in the house, and he got like an 84% chance of not getting sick.
So is Wally going to get sick being in the room with his mother, like with the face covering?
I'm gonna have to make more rules for that next time. I'm gonna have to do a lot of every time that he's in there. So let's just say there's probably a good chance that he could.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Well, that is what it is. I don't think Wally's going to... You might kill Wally. Who knows?
Who's to know? Just know. Just as long as...
Is there a cure? Like, is there a potential to build a cure?
First off, what we know of viruses, they are not living things. But just like if a body... If you survive against a disease, you build an antibody for it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as long as there's antibodies and there's a way to fight something off, yes, there can be a cure.
So you're basing this off of COVID, essentially.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility that Wally's mom could survive.
Yeah, of course. Okay. But there's not too much being said. Granted, this is only like a day or two after, literally a day after the fact. And there's just all these cases.
So Wally's gonna get sick.
Yeah. Not unless he follows
social distancing and masks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this campaign started over COVID.
That is true.
And it's